Let me tell you something you already know.
Your player is worth the investment. I'm Dave Kirilloff from thelanguageofhitting.com. I want to talk about 3 topics today. The first topic is the book called The Performance Cortex. Number 2, I want to talk about using your brain while you train. And number 3, I want to talk about the pitcher's battle plan against you as a hitter. What he uses to get you out in the games. So I'm digging through a book called The Performance Cortex, written by Zach Schoenbrunn. For most baseball people, this book is really not easy reading, but that doesn't matter to me because I got the audiobook. This book was featured on the MLB Network. He was a special guest. He was a special guest on the MLB radio. I love the content the book presents to the audience. I love the content the book presents to players and coaches. Anyone who is serious about this craft that we call hitting, whether it be baseball or softball, it's probably worth your investment to dig into this book as I'm digging into it also. The reason why I like it so much is because it is validating what I've been saying for years, how you must use your brain while you're hit. You must use your brain while you train. Here are just a few of the key concepts that I'm opening up and I'm unfolding and I'm applying in the batting cages with our players. The brain exists to produce movement. The act of hitting is a rapid perceptual decision-making skill. Hitting a rapid-moving tennis ball or baseball requires the retrieval of past strokes in the memory or memory of past patterns. The brain is plastic. It has room to grow. Perception influences action. Action influences perception. We move in order to perceive, and sometimes you perceive in order to move. Cognitive calibration is what hitting practice is for. Turn motor actions into motor memories. What makes one person's perceptions better than another person's perceptions? Perception is the essence of preparing to respond. Perception initiates action. There's a lot to take in from this book, but the book relays a lot of stories that make application to what they're describing the brain, how the brain controls a lot of things in athletes. You know, one story they shared was the comparison of John Kruk to Michael Jordan. You know, John Kruk was an exceptional hitter in baseball, close to, if not over 300 batting average. And the story is he was at a bar, you know, eating a burger, drinking a beer, and having a cigarette. And a woman asked him, "Well, aren't you a professional athlete? Why are you, acting this way, eating this way?" And he said, "Lady, I ain't no athlete. I'm a ball player." Now, when you compare John Kruk to what Michael Jordan was doing, you know, trying to come out and play baseball in the mid-'90s, you know, Michael Jordan was an exceptional athlete, and that was demonstrated on the basketball court. But when he tried to play baseball and take on the hitting aspect of it, there was a lot of difficulties for him. Obviously, Michael Jordan was a superior athlete, but what did John Kruk have that Michael Jordan didn't have? The answer was inside of John Kruk's brain. Another comparison to this notion that it's inside their brains is when you look at Major League Baseball. There's approximately 500 hitters in Major League Baseball, and only approximately 30 players each year will hit over 300. 30 out of 500. When you look at those hitters, you know, most of those hitters have 20/20, 20/10 vision. Most of those hitters have good bat speed. Most of those hitters have quick twitch muscle fibers. So what is really separating those 30 hitters from the rest of the other 470 hitters? The answer is inside their brains. Number 2, we use our brains while we train. I've been saying this for years, and this book is validating what I've been telling everybody for a long time. You must think while you hit. Now, this is a very deep subject for me because I've done a lot of studies and research and lab work to be able to explain this. But I'm not going to elaborate deeply into this concept right now. But allow me to share this much with you. When a hitter goes to batting practice, what is the major component that the hitter needs to identify with and have a cognitive understanding about the act of hitting? What every hitter must practice is the awareness of controlling the space that the ball is in, that the ball is occupying now, and controlling the space that the ball will be occupying very soon. Let me show you these clips. This is from the same game of two hitters facing a very fast Aroldis Chapman. The first hitter, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, squares it up to left center field. The other hitter, much difficulty, and you can sort of see the stress and anxiety and angst that he's going through while he's trying to deal with 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Now, I know this is only one sample size, so it really doesn't matter, but what we want to study is what was good about the better result, the hitter getting a line drive out to left center field versus the hitter not even hitting the ball. The answer to the question is profiled in the book. It deals with, number one, your perception. Remember the quote, "Perception is the essence of preparing to respond. Perception initiates the action." The question is, how do you unfold that? Even the writer of the book and the scientist, the neuroscientist who the book was about, they can explain to you how the brain works, but they cannot explain to you how to get the hitter to get this brain to work and function in this manner, to hit in a manner and fashion to turn around 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And very humbly and modestly speaking, I have the answers. Remember the quote from the book, Rapid Perceptual Decision-Making Skills? When you're watching someone's eyes, you can read into their mind. You can read into what they're thinking. When you watch someone's eyes, you can almost see what they're thinking about and when they're thinking about it. And I'm talking about the ball. This leads me to a concept I've been sharing with audience for a while now, is that good hitters are actually swinging the bat with their eyes. Number three, the last thing I want to address and remind you is that the pitcher has weapons, has a battle plan to get the batter out. What are the pitcher's weapons to get your batter out? The pitcher tries his best to mess up the hitter's timing. He throws one fast, he throws one slow. The pitcher tries his best to mess up the hitter's spatial awareness skills. He messes up the batter's vision for depth perception. I don't recall any time or any interview where a pitching coach told the pitcher or the pitcher told the reporter, you know, I'm on the mound and what I really want to do is mess up the hitter's mechanics. So knowing this simple logical idea that the pitcher is trying to get our batters out by messing up their timing and messing up their spatial awareness skills, their ability to see depth perception, what are we doing as coaches, or what are you doing as a player to combat the pitcher's battle plan against you? This is what I recommend. I recommend strongly you make the investment into your player because your player is worth it. The best hitting drill ever, 4th edition. I give you a running start to understanding how the brain is working through a series of drills that is really a concept, as I mentioned to you before, that the logical concept a good batter has in home plate is this. They want to manage the space the ball is in now and the space the ball is about to occupy. It sounds simple, it sounds logical, but there's a lot of unfolding that takes place to help your hitter change how they are cognitively going to conceptualize the act that we call hitting a baseball or softball.
Let's help our kids to be as good as they can be while they're still young. I'm Dave Kirilloff, languageofhitting.com, and Lord bless you.
Yeah. Sweet. Come on, boy. Bless you.